Hey guys, and welcome back to another pod. Happy Tuesday, wherever you're listening to us. I hope you had a very nice day. That was quite
Awesome.
nice.
That was lovely. Well done. That's a really nice intro. I should let you do it from now on. It's so calming.
Cool.
So,
It is a Tuesday evening, and if you're listening on, where do they listen?
what? You don't know where people listen to
No,
this
not
podcast?
YouTube, but I don't know where you listen.
Like Spotify,
If you're
wherever you
listening-
listen to your podcast.
If you're listening on Spotify, I hope you have a really chilled evening. And
Someone
Yeah.
actually messaged me and was like, can you stop calling me a C-U-N-T?
I'll see you next Tuesday.
Because every time you sign off, you're like, see you next Tuesday.
Wow.
But yeah, we're not actually calling you guys that. But yeah.
If the boot fits, if you're listening and that boot fits, see you next Tuesday, guys.
If you're a see you next Tuesday, then, you know. So, how's it going?
It is good, going good. So
How's your week?
busy, so busy. It is that busy that we are filming on a Tuesday. We normally film on a Friday.
Yeah, we normally film this pod on a Friday.
But we're having to film on Tuesday because our schedule is so crazy. Actually, until end of August, that I've had to cram everything in when I can. I literally sat yesterday at work and for an hour was just diary management of like this. Obviously, we film for DadVGirls vlogs, and we obviously do the studio ones. So I had to sit with Steve with that. It was just so much. Like,
There's a lot going on.
it is a lot. But obviously tonight we have a debut drop, which is tonight in real time, not when you're listening to this. So you
It would have
already
happened
seen
if
it.
we're filming these like a couple of weeks in advance at the minute, just
yeah.
because obviously we've got holiday and stuff coming up later. So we have to just get a few in the bank.
Yeah, because we can't have you guys missing an episode. So we're trying to do it so we're ahead.
But yeah, we've got a drop
real
tonight,
time
which is
drop.
our debut league, which is like the football inspired for the Euros.
Really, really cool.
Such
We
a
saw the
cool
socials.
collection.
Honestly, like it had such a good response. It was really, really cool.
Had so many influencers as well, like reaching out about gifting and stuff, like people who wanted to get it, who've not, like people that don't even follow us, like who just seen it and just like, yeah, I need to get me some of that. So that's always such a good sign. Oh my God, tell the story of what happened to you. Yes, was it yesterday?
Oh my gosh. I was so embarrassed. I can't even believe this. I actually can't. So I was going through Kingston on my own, but I was on the phone to Grace and I saw a girl in Daewoo and I literally was like, oh my gosh, Daewoo, because I'm still very shocked when I see people wearing it. She looked at me like, okay, hi. I'm like, oh, okay. She has no idea who I am, that I own Daewoo. It's okay. Like, I was so
She
embarrassed.
had no idea who Sarah was, which for us is actually such a good sign because we always said we want people to wear it, have no idea who we are. And obviously that is what's happening now.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, our audience wear it, but people outside of that are now wearing it. And that must have been so humbling for you.
It was. No, it was. But I didn't. I rang you. I was like, although I was so
I would have at
embarrassed,
least
I out loud was like,
said,
oh no. I just
oh,
walked
like
away.
it's my brand.
No.
Like, so you didn't just like a crazy
No, but that
person.
also sounds really like bougie.
But wouldn't
like,
you want?
That's my brand. No,
if you were
no.
wearing something and you didn't know who founded the brand, like, and they saw you, wouldn't you want them to say?
They're
oh,
probably
like,
not going to be like, oh, like, because
wouldn't you want them to say like, oh, that's
no? But
my
it was
brand?
really nice. I rang you. But
Imagine
I
like,
was
oh yeah, I just like it's my sister's. I just nicked it off her or something.
Yeah, like, I have no idea. Picked it up from a charity shop. Someone else didn't want it.
Give it a rest.
No, but
it is cool to see people wearing
obviously
it.
for like us with Daewoo, because we're YouTubers and a lot of YouTubers, well, we've done merch before. It's so important for us. Like we put our blood, sweat, tears, our time, our everything into Daewoo that we really don't want people thinking it's merch. Like
It's not much.
No, so
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to prove the point of like me seeing that girl yesterday and she not knowing, it was great. Like that's why for us it's a goal.
It was great
for
and
us
embarrassing all at the same time.
I'm happy that I was more happy than embarrassed. It's fine.
I think as well, like I think Soul Skin, there's a lot more people right now who shop Soul Skin already that have absolutely no idea who we are. Like there's influencers who are sharing it and like I have no idea who they are. They have no idea who we are.
Yeah.
And it is really, really cool because that's ultimately like when you know like you've got a successful brand when it works outside of your own audience.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really, really cool.
It's really good.
And did you see that TikTok that I put out of Maddie the
Her
mini CEO
CEO.
of Soul
That
Skin.
is so cute.
So if you guys didn't see it, basically Maddie had to come to a shoot with us because we didn't have any childcare for her. So it was the shoot that we did at our studio with Jess and Eve.
Yeah. She
And
loved them and they loved her. It was just so cute.
it was really,
And then I
cute.
met Jess and Eve's dad, and he came over and was like, "My girls have said the best thing about working with you guys is they love Maddie." I was like, "Oh, so it's really cute."
She's so cute. She loved being there as well. And there's like a shot of her like cleaning the floor with a baby wipe, which she did off her own back. I wasn't like clean the floor, but that just, we said before,
Sums
like
up her,
she's actually a very clean and tidy.
And in the
for
bin,
a
she put something in,
2-year-old.
she put that wipe then in the bin.
Yeah, without
She is
even
really
being
good.
told. So
Maybe she could be CEO of DadVGirls because there is a vacancy going to be coming up for that role, or an MD. So maybe she can just do it.
we really do need someone. We need like an MD or a COO or something like that.
Yeah,
Someone
I
that
don't really know
sits.
titles. So did I just say the wrong one when it's CEO then?
I think CEO might be a little bit extreme for where we're at.
What are we? We're CEOs or founders, or what?
We're like CEO founders.
We're everything.
just
We're
bit of
doing everything.
yeah.
Our hands are in. We're in there. Like
So we need like, because of like, well, obviously as you guys know, like we do the podcast, we've got Soul Skin, we've got Davu, we got
2 films.
two
at the vlog.
at the moment we're shooting 2 videos for for DadVGirls.
DadVGirls
I just get confused.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got a family of 5 girls.
Yeah.
It's full on. So we kind of need someone that sits like on the organizational chart, sits under us, above the rest of the team, because I just feel like everyone will thrive as well on the team, because at the moment it's like people want our time. It's like we're spread so thin that I think it would be really good.
It's definitely the right choice. I think it's just going to be really, really hard because you and me, as much as it's stressful, like it is our baby, and the person that takes that role on has got to be passionate about the brand.
That's why I think those kind of roles are so difficult to find, because they have to be super driven, they have to be super organized.
Yeah.
They have
good
to
at
be
management.
Really good at management, passionate. Like I'm passionate.
Yeah.
I'm creative. I'm a terrible manager.
Yeah.
I am not built to manage people. I don't know, just figure it out.
I'm organized, and I don't have the time.
Between
to
the
manage
two of us,
team,
we kind of make up the skill sets required for like that kind of role, but we
again,
just don't have the time.
No.
So
I think when we started DadVGirls, I definitely didn't. I don't think we realized the extent of actually.
We had no idea what we were getting.
It's a full-time business, and we're now we've actually got like 2 full-time businesses with DadVGirls and DadVGirls, and Soul Skin is obviously, we've got business partners. So it's not
a little bit,
the
pressure isn't as much with Soul Skin, and Soul Skin already has an MD and it's only a year old.
I literally, how funny was, we were in a meeting with him the other day, and honestly,
this is the MD of Soul Skin. Yeah,
his organization skills, he was talking, I kept smiling and laughing, and George, our other business partner, said, what do you keep laughing at? And I was like, because I've got a question in my head, and I know I shouldn't say it because we're in an important meeting, but it's in my head and I can't let go. So we'll just say it. I said to Chris, how organized are you at home? Like, what do your t-shirts look like in your cupboard? Are they like all folded up and stacked? Like, because
are they all like color coded? Like, just we're right in the thick of like a really important meeting. Like strategy's going down, and Sarah's like, how do you organize your wardrobe? Like, I just imagine you being super organized at home. Like,
and you was like, what is it? Is it? I can't remember what you said to me, but you made a joke about how I was probably in. I don't know what you said, but it was funny. But yeah,
if I made a joke, of course it's going to be funny.
But yeah, I was really impressed. I was like, I think because I said the reason it impressed me so much is because the men in my life are not organized.
It's quite
the women are the women. So
like,
and that's only because obviously I haven't been in a work role to see that a lot of men probably are organized. But in my life, like you, my dad, like my brother-in-law, not really organized, but my mum, my sister, me, were very organized, like people. So
like I think there is a stereotype about women being more organized and stuff, but it definitely plays out in our lives because of the people. Although my brother, so me and my brother are only 18 months apart, he's like really organized, and like and I'm just the complete I've zero organizational skills.
I just thought about something about him as well.
When we I remember when we was younger, like he used to have like this immense like DVD collection, which he had behind lock and key. It was like a glass cabinet. He literally used to lock it up because he didn't want like me nicking them and not putting them back.
Yeah.
And like it was all organised.
And then he changed it into those black cases, and you could open them, flick through, and he'd put the labels in. Do you remember?
And I remember thinking like I could never do that.
No.
Like my DVDs, like you open every single one and there's just no disc in
He's
there.
the sort of person, I bet he's got some form of photo albums, like actual photo albums. And when you can be bothered to print your pictures, like my
Which
mum
no
does.
one can be bothered
My
to
mum does. She's got them labelled. So from when we were like born to now, she's got a huge like.
Really? Is that why she keeps coming around with a disposable, just taking pictures for everyone?
I have to let her know I don't want them in the wheel. Joking.
The thing is,
where are we storing them?
The thing is with photo albums, we
Jokes,
said this
Mum,
as well.
I'm spitting.
Yeah.
I can only say jokes, Mum, because she always listens to our pod weekly.
Does.
Like, so.
She's our number one viewer.
Yeah, so I'm only joking, Mum, because she's going to have a go.
No, but the thing is with photo albums, right, is no one does it anymore because you take the pictures digitally. I'm sounding so old right now on your phone. Whereas back in the day, you used to have to go and get them developed. It's kind of exciting, like what the picture's going to look like when you get them back. And then you'd have to put them somewhere. You'd have to put them in an album. Now, it's almost like we don't.
Yeah, but then you don't look back, really. But
then when do you actually pull the photo albums out and look at them?
Although I did when I last went to my mum's, me and Chloe did. I got them out and was showing her what I looked like at her age. So it was actually really nice to have that.
Yeah, because I was saying like our wedding album, like I think we've looked for it once.
Yeah.
Like from how many years ago?
Our wedding renewal, we haven't even had them printed yet. Like it's been a year. I really, really want pictures on the wall.
Oh God, pictures on the wall in our house is like the biggest, just most stupid thing. Like every time we move house, we're like, we're gonna put pictures on the wall. We'll never do.
Yeah, but because
why do we never do like?
No, because I feel like we're both not very good at like. I just don't know where I'm going to put them. What kind of? I just don't think about it. What size? Like, I really want them up. There's a picture in our hallway, and I really hate it. I sit on the toilet because I often leave the toilet door open, and I can see it
in the hallway downstairs.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Why am I doing what?
There's always people in our house that.
Not always.
Okay.
Like
it's a bit weird, but yeah. What picture have we got in there?
The one from like our first ever like DadVGirls shoot, and Chloe was a baby.
Oh,
but it's a side view, and I've got like a teeth out. Like,
you haven't got bad teeth.
No, but I'm like laughing. I got really bad. Like it's just
that shoot. It was so embarrassing that they got me to stick my tongue out on it, and I saw a picture. Someone posted something on like TikTok or something.
You're like, ow.
And it's like, I'm like, why have I, as a grown man, got my tongue out? But they were telling me to do it, and I didn't know. I was just doing whatever they said. They were like, oh, everyone stick their tongue out, and it's so embarrassing.
You know, like you've just reminded me that when I print pictures, it's gonna have to go on my to-do list now.
I don't know. I just do it. It's better to get something done imperfectly than want it to be perfect and never get it done.
That is very, very.
There's
true.
a saying in that somewhere.
That is very true. One photo album I have looked through a few times. Well, that was a lot to say. My friend, after our joint stag and hen do, she made me one, and it's just a little booklet that you've like printed on pages, and it's actually.
Oh yeah, I often come home and find you just flicking through that on the sofa.
You don't come home and find me on the sofa doing anyway.
No,
like
you're always doing something.
There's always something, but that is I've actually looked through that a few times because it's in the kitchen. But yeah.
Have we ever really spoke about our stag and hen do?
I don't know if we have. I don't know if.
Well, let's just talk about it. Let's pretend that we haven't, even if we have, because we can't remember what we spoke about in previous episodes. But so for our renewal, we actually ended up having a joint sten.
Yeah.
Called a sten.
Yeah.
Stag and hen do, which is a bit unconventional, but
it was so good. We went to Ibiza.
Best decision ever.
So we'll do like brief catch up just in case on that bit.
Okay, Sarah's going to give you bullet points.
We had a boys' villa and a girls' villa, so we could still be separate, but most days, well, every day actually, we ended up being together. We were meant to have like daytime either separate and meet in the evening, or evening. But we ended up
we all
being
had
together.
such a good time together that we were just like, why are we?
So we've actually got
separate?
like a big group of friends that we've been friends with for years. Like I've got my girlfriends, you've got your guy friends, and then we've all just been together. Literally, how long would you say we've all been friends? Since we're like
20-something years.
Yeah. Well, one of my friends I've known since I was 4, but the rest would be like about 15, 16. And because
Yeah.
obviously I was with you from that age.
Yeah, so
group.
about just over 20 years, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
so basically we were going to have separate stag and hen do. And then me and you went to Ibiza just for like a weekend away, just
you're
the
like,
two
oh
of
my
us.
gosh, Sarah, you're actually so fun.
No, I didn't say that. I was like, oh, I actually really love Ibiza, but I'd love to come back here with all of our friends. That's what I said.
Yeah, but you always was like, I actually would have a much better time if I was with you than if I went without you.
God, why are you baiting me up for?
Because it was sweet. Why can't I claim that if that's a really
All right, so
sweet
I was
thing?
in Ibiza, I was feeling all lovey-dovey, and I was like, do you know what? I was like, we'd have such a good holiday, but how could we ever get all of our friends all on a holiday together? It's never going to happen. Everyone's got kids. You don't just take holidays as friends. So we're like, let's do the stag and hen do together. They have to come.
Yeah.
They've got no choice. So that's how we basically bullied them into coming over.
But a little story time now, because we had a girls' villa, but it actually got burgled. Dun, dun, dun.
People wanted more crazy stories, like the kidnap story.
Yeah. I don't know if I really don't think
this isn't as crazy as that, but it is kind of crazy. But yeah, so we went out. So this night we all went out, and we'd already had a couple of heavy nights of drinking. So some of us were feeling a bit more fragile, like myself, for example. And I remember we were in this bar and I was like, I'd rather just be anywhere but here right now. I'm like so hungover. I'm done. And then so me, you, who else?
Lauren and Ellie, yeah. I think there was
four
four
of us. So we were like, oh, let's all just go back to the girls' villa.
Oh, bearing in mind, firstly, we received a message the day before about someone saying, because we'd been posting pictures, and someone had messaged saying, I stayed in this villa, it got robbed. So really be careful. So we did everything that we could have done. We set the alarms, we locked up, we didn't leave any spare
Made sure
key.
every single
Windows were shut, and they had like the bars. Like honestly, like what we felt we'd done.
Secure.
We'd done that. So we're like, no, okay, cool. And always in your head you think maybe they left it open, or you just don't know. But we fully secured it, and then so we obviously had the girls and the boys villa, but you came for a sleepover with me.
Oh, kinky.
No, it's actually because the boys weren't leaving, and we were. So you came back.
Well, I wasn't going to go back to the boys villa on my own, and then obviously I thought I'd just come back.
No, which I'm so glad you did. Meant to be, because we then pull up, and at first we saw, wasn't it like the blind was open in the kitchen, or there was something? The window was open in the kitchen. As we first
it was the
pulled
shutter.
up.
It was the outdoor shutter was open,
and we were like, we've definitely.
And Ellie said, no, 100%. She went, I went around the whole house and 100% shut everything. So it's quite eerie.
So we were already,
quite late at night.
Scared.
And then we went in.
Well, Lauren went in first. She walked in, but basically when you walk in, you have the kitchen, but then just after the kitchen is a little bathroom. And weirdly, now, whenever you've stayed in a villa, the safe is never in the bathroom. So this is why we think also they must have just known they've targeted this house before, because basically Lauren walked in and
we were still outside because we were behind her.
Yeah,
she walks in, she looks to the right and she screams. I thought she'd seen a dead body or something.
Yeah.
That's how.
Or there was someone there facing her.
Or there was someone there. She screamed. And then
so Joel ran the other way.
No, I didn't. I pushed past and I went, don't worry, I'm here to save
But basically
the day.
she screamed because the whole safe had been ripped off the wall, and now and the safe was gone, and in this safe was all our passports, money, weird, like I had a Louis Vuitton bag and I'd put that in there. My friend had a Hansa G swim costume and felt that was valuable to her, so that was in there. Like we all had something that was valuable.
Imagine
but most important, like
swimsuit.
our passports. Now bear in mind we was like gonna go.
And an iPad, I think someone put an iPad in there.
And phone. Lauren's phone was in there. So that, but then when we went round, we'd looked and they'd literally ransacked our suitcases. They'd taken jewelry, sunglasses, like everything that was of value, but they had never searched anything to do with the house, like other than our suitcases and the safe. They knew exactly where the safe was. Like the whole place wasn't ransacked.
Yeah. Well, we actually started thinking it was an inside job. We've just the whole thing just felt really odd. But also, so we went up into Sarah's room, and
my room was like up and at the back. It was
you had like a Louis
Vuitton
makeup bag, and it had been emptied out, but it hadn't been taken. And then we went into your bathroom, and the bathroom window was wide open. So basically, what we come to the conclusion is they were in there when we got home, and we startled them
because basically I was sharing a room with your sister. So if we'd had a sleepover, she wouldn't have been in there, by the way.
That's weird.
No, but I just need to point that out because what people pick up on things, just to be clear.
I would have been sleeping on the sofa downstairs.
But basically, yeah, in mine and her room, we had quite a lot of valuable stuff in there, but they hadn't taken it other than it looked like they were tipped it out. So that's why we're pretty sure when we've come home, it startled them. They've jumped out the window, whatever they've done. But obviously now...
Which is even more crazy to think they were in the house when we got home.
Yeah.
And that also you lot might have gone back there by yourselves.
And then the way we found they'd come in is basically in the downstairs bedroom. They'd literally taken out the window pane, the whole window, nicely put it on the grass. And the bars that we thought literally just popped out. So they obviously know it.
I mean, it was ridiculous.
Because nothing was broken. And I really believe that if we'd come back in time, it would have been locked up. That would have been back in. We would have had no idea. We then checked, and the alarm didn't even work either. So again, if you're going to rent a villa, just before you even go out, check the alarm works.
If you go to Ibiza and you rent a villa, just know it is rife for getting burgled over there. Because then the more that we spoke about it with other people, and we just realised that this is happening all the time.
Yeah.
And even the safe isn't safe.
And then we did find out that villa itself had been burgled multiple times. So it was,
which is just really irresponsible of the owners to be still just letting it out without actually putting better security measures in.
Definitely.
Like
but the maddest
bars.
thing about this all is that obviously, like, bearing in mind, because I'm trying to remember what we've just said, but the passports have gone.
They're in the safe.
Us girls, we're all mums. And we're all freaking out. Well, I wasn't, but all my friends and everyone, but now everyone's come back because we've said we've been robbed. And everyone is freaking out. Girls are crying. They're like, how can I get home? I can't fly home. I've got one person saying, that's it, I'm cancelling my passport in case I try and sell it. I'm like, listen, don't do that. Don't cancel anything. I'm saying to everybody, because then people are starting to listen to someone like, should we cancel it? I'm like, don't cancel your passport. I've got this gut feeling we're getting them back. Everyone's like looking at me like some crazy lady. I said, I'm telling you.
Mate, I was one of those people looking at you.
I'm saying, Joel,
lady.
Please walk with me around this villa. I feel like they're going to be outside somewhere. You're like, no, absolutely not. We're not doing
they're gone. They've
your
taken
passports
that
are
safe.
gone. So I'm like, I'm not going to cancel my passport. I'm not going to do anything. I was like, I'm not going to act rash, but just hold out. So
Sarah's just going to sit there with her crystals and manifest that we're getting the passports
manifest
back.
Does it for you. I'm telling you. So basically, one girl did cancel her passport, and then the rest didn't. So the next morning, we look, and my friend's phone, who was in the safe, then has signal. It is on fine, like we find my iPhone, and it's in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere.
No, but it wasn't it behind? It was behind the villa.
Yeah, but like in a field.
Yeah, there was a field behind the villa, and the phone was pinging up that it was there.
Yeah. So well, only 5 of us because we only had one car, but drove there. And literally in the middle of this field was this safe open with only our passports and her phone in it. So they took everything else, but they left them passports.
Which is insane because I did not believe you for a second that they were going to get them passports back. And you were like, no, I just feel like we're going to get them back.
I just
and
knew.
we got them back. It's mad. It's actually mental.
I have a really good gut feeling. It is pretty
Should
mad.
Be playing the lottery more often.
No, gut feeling we ain't going to win.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Probably good reason not to play.
No, but I do. So I'm like, I must have, in the moment, because everyone was really upset. I think as well, a lot of them didn't have their partners there, whereas I had you. So I was very calm because together we would have faced it. But so I do get why they were very upset. But the girl that had obviously then cancelled her passport had to then miss her flight home to go to the passport office to then get a new slip just to get home. We then missed out on the last day because we had to go to the police station, report it for obviously insurance purposes.
It was crazy.
So yeah, it was like...
Gave us something to talk about when we got home though.
But I'm telling you, although it was terrible, we had the best time. So
bar that experience, we actually had such a good stendu. It was literally so good.
It was really good.
So obviously you've got your girls' trip coming up to Ibiza. You're staying in a hotel. Yeah. Would you actually stay in a villa again?
Yeah, I think so. I do think so. I think I would do more research because I actually went through I don't know what they call it, a concierge, and they booked it. So I trusted them. So I wouldn't. I'd probably do more research about villas. and just make sure again that the safety, like the alarms and stuff, because we just took it like, oh, of course.
How would you feel if Casey was going there and then she was like, oh, I'm going to book a villa with my friends?
I'd be like, nah. Stay in a hotel.
Hotel is a lot safer.
It depends what friends, like.
It depends what friends.
No,
Well, which ones?
if it's all girls.
The ones that know martial arts,
if it's
then we're
all
good.
girls, I'll be like, it's a little bit more vulnerable because I feel like people know, like with girls, they've most likely got nice shoes, nice handbags, glasses.
Also, like hide your valuables. Don't put them in the safe.
Yeah.
Just hide them.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, from judging, if I'd put it in that big old bookcase, if I put my passport in there, no one would have taken it.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't ransack it.
They didn't ransack the books.
Literally straight to
weirdly, they didn't ransack all the books. Oh, well, they're not looking to nick books, are they?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like.
But anyway, talking of hypothetical questions, we've got a game. No, so we've got this game that we want to play where we basically got hypothetical questions to see which of us is the more strict parent, right? So
we all know I'm the strictest. Here we go.
No, I'm like, no.
You're not strict. You're the fun one. I'm.
You're fun. You're fun.
Fun.
Outside of the non-fun stuff you do, you are fun. Like outside of breathing down everyone's neck, being strict, you're fun.
Aww.
You make up for it because when you're fun, you're super fun. I'm just like I'm mediocre fun all the time.
I feel like Casey's experiencing good me. Now that like she is that bit older, like we don't argue. I don't have to tell her off. I feel like she is starting to get like.
When do I get to experience that side of you? When do I get to experience good Sarah?
Sorry. Well, how about you book me a weekend, just the two of us, and then you can when I'm switched off.
Well, let's see if you win this game. Not that there's any winners, but
I'd actually like to go to Italy next.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to change the subject. Sorry. I'm trying to smoothly transition into our next segment.
Mykonos.
You keep bringing us back.
Yeah,
I'd love to go to Mykonos, but anyway.
Mum, if you're listening, will you babysit so me and Joe can go to Mykonos?
She's gonna sign up an account so she can comment.
Wait, when this goes out, it's gonna get a text. Absolutely not.
So the first hypothetical question we have is: what would you do if you found out one of the kids bunked off school?
I don't know. I'd ask them why.
Yeah. Did you ever bunk off school?
No.
I actually did, and I got caught once. And so me and my friend, because we used to get the train to school, and then we just went into the town centre. It was the worst decision I ever made because it is so boring. Do you know how long a school day is, right? When you actually just have to walk around the same town centre all day. We were like, we would rather have just been at school.
Yeah.
We've gone into McDonald's about 8 times. We've gone into every single
6
shop.
hours doing nothing with no.
But also this school that we went to, it finished a bit later as well because it didn't have homework. So it had this thing where you finish later. So it's actually longer. It's like 8-hour day.
Oh, wow.
That we just walked around. And then our parents found out but didn't tell us until we got home. So my mum picked me up from the station, everything. We went home and she's like, how's your day? I was like, yeah, no, it's just same old, same old. She's like, oh, really? Just tell me a bit more about it. Just like, just making up random stuff. She's like, no, because you didn't go, did you?
But this is the thing. I always thought like
oh, man.
Secondary school, because they did so many like registers, they would know. It was just like, you're going to get caught. If you're going to bunk off, you're going to get caught. The only thing I did do once is I had a doctor's appointment and my mum still doesn't know this. Oh, risky.
Oh, she's watching.
I then went into Kingston after, had like half hour, an hour, and then went to school.
Oh my God, that is so crazy.
By myself.
Wow, you was a right rebel. You bunked off for like half an hour.
I know.
Yeah, so anyway, what would you do if you found out the girls bunked off school?
I mean, I don't know because they never have, but like I couldn't imagine Grace doing it. Maybe Chloe when we get there. So I don't want to say too much in case she does.
I think I wouldn't be like super angry or annoyed.
No.
I felt like I got grounded for it and I felt like it's just really unfair because I didn't have a good day anyway when I bunked off. So
we actually tried to encourage Grace to be a little bit naughty at school because a little bit of background here. She has anxiety just about school. At home, the holidays, she's fine, but something about school.
She's had it literally since nursery.
No one could take her other than me. Like if my mum had her for the morning, she'd ring me and say, you need to have her to take her into nursery. Like she's always had it. But my mind's just...
One of the things that she would be worried about is getting in trouble, but she never gets in trouble.
Honestly, she's never had a falling out of a friend. She's never she's so good. So good.
I was basically saying to her, well, you're like, you've got like an irrational fear of like getting in trouble with a teacher. So I was like, you almost need to like get in trouble so you can see it's not really that bad.
Yeah.
So it's like, just do like little naughty things at school, like just get in trouble, just so you can see, like, if you get detention, it's like not the end of the world. Like, and we were like giving her ideas of things that she could do. And she was like,
you laughed at me because I said, I know, be real naughty, go in the bathroom, get wet tissue and throw it on the ceiling.
Oh my God, that is such a bad prank. Like,
you're like,
no one even catches you doing it. It's just, you've just done it for no reason. Like,
I was like, oh gosh, that's not loud. I was like, back in my day, that's what they would do. You and her looking at me like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. But she didn't get in trouble. She has had a couple of detentions, but not for like naughty stuff, just more for like...
Mostly like if it's traffic and she's late for school and I'm like, that's my fault or whoever.
Anyway, back to this game. So
yeah, sorry.
Basically, I would probably just ground them for one evening, and if they had something really, really that they wanted to do, like they had a party with their friends, I'd probably just let them go.
Yeah, you would.
Defer the grounding to another day when they had nothing on, and they're probably going to stay at home anyway.
Well done. Yeah, and then you forget that you've even told them off. Obviously, I would tell them off, but I think if it was a one-off, then I don't know. I don't feel like it would make me that angry.
Yeah, I wouldn't be super angry.
If it was something they're constantly doing,
it's an issue.
Then it's an issue, and I would come down hard. But like,
yeah. All right, let's have a look.
Although I don't want them to hear.
Oh, that. I mean, this one you don't want them to hear that and realise that it's all right
okay,
to do.
Yeah.
So, if one of the kids snuck off to a party and you found out the next morning,
oh my gosh,
now we're talking big trouble.
Absolutely not. My thing is that
safety.
The girls can do like pretty much what they want. We're pretty flexible, but I'm like, you have to get there and back safe. Like I need to know, but I don't need to know in like a controlling way of like, I just don't sleep because I just like to know they're safe. Like, so at a party, a lot of the times I pick them up afterwards, or like, I'm all for it. So if they did do it behind my back, I'd be really cross because
also our kids will have no reason to sneak off to a party because they're allowed to go to parties. Unless they were grounded for bunking off, then they might have to sneak out.
But all they'd have to do is ask you.
Like, I did a lot of slightly rebellious things as a kid, but I never actually had the desire to like just sneak out of the house. I think because I was allowed to be out of the house, so it's like
I think again because our relationship with them is quite open.
I feel like if you're a strict parent though, and you're not letting your kid go to parties, like, you know, if they are that kind of kid, they're probably going to sneak out and go to the party. But then the thing is, you're creating an environment that's really not safe because you don't have that relationship with your kid where, say they did sneak off to a party and something happened to them, they now feel they can't call you and tell you.
Yeah.
So
because that's what I've always said to the girls. If there is a situation that you're in a party or you're at a friend's and you want to get out, you just text me. I'll pick you up. There'll be no questions. I'll just grab you. I need you to be safe. Like, it's so important. So yeah, if they did sneak out, I'd be really cross. I'm really disappointed.
So what's the punishment going to be? 2 days grounded.
I would,
miss the next 2 parties.
Right, if Casey sneaks out next week.
Oh my God, at the age of 19.
She's getting grounded, girl. Take her phone off her.
What would you do if one of the kids threw a house party while you're away? Oh my God.
This is funny because I'm really feeling like we're really chill because
we would just let them have it.
They have house parties while we're away.
No, well, Grace hasn't had a party while we're away because she's too young, but Casey has.
Yeah, and they're really good. They clean up.
They actually like you would, right? So Casey's and Grace have had quite a few house parties at our house. Like when we were first having them, because of what maybe not what I was like, but what people like me might have been like when we were younger. If someone had a house party, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
House gets wrecked.
Yeah.
Police get called. People turn up uninvited. There's fights. There's everything, right? So when Casey's first having a house party, I was just preparing for the worst. I was like, Casey, what we're going to do when people turn up and they're not invited? She's like, why would someone turn up uninvited to a house party? I'm like, why wouldn't they? So since then, they've actually had so many house parties. And I'm talking like a lot of kids that obviously like drinking in moderation. And there's never been an issue. No. There's never been a fight. There's never been anyone uninvited. There's never been anything stolen. There's literally like, which is mad when you think about it, because you're talking about 50 odd teenagers in your house.
Yeah.
Like some of them
and
who
also,
we've never met.
If there was a time where there's been slight disrespect, that's going on. I'll pull
Sarah
them up.
lets them know. Oh my Lord. She has gone in, right?
One time-
I feel so embarrassed. And I know the kids do. But no, it's good. Like, it's good. I'm
No,
not
because I'm like, no.
I'm
you're
not
in
saying you
our
shouldn't
house.
do it.
To me, like, we've worked hard for that house and it means so much to me.
You
So
better
the respect is there, right?
RESPECT.
Like, and I'm letting you have
Me.
this party and you can do what you want. Like, you know, we've had parties and they've gone wild too. But I just think there has to be that understanding of you are in somebody's house. Like,
Yeah. So we had the Halloween party for Grace last year.
yeah.
And we'd paid people to come in and transform the house
Yeah.
into like a Halloween thing. I don't know what it's called, Halloween grotto.
Yeah, it was like
Haunted
a
house.
haunted house.
We had actors, like paid actors,
Yeah.
who dressed up and came out and scared people.
Yeah.
And we actually had to tell some of Grace's friends to rein it in a bit because they were
Yeah.
like terrorizing.
Grace was
the
so
people.
embarrassed, but we turned the lights on, I turned the music off, and I said,
But then
"Guys,"
wait, they were knocking because they were getting drunk.
that's
They
what I
were
was gonna
knocking
say,
into
yeah.
things, knocking over
they
the
were
decorations.
breaking the decorations that obviously weren't ours. It was a company that come in and we'd paid a lot of
We
money.
found them like they had surrounded one of the paid actors with like all
Yeah.
their phones in their face, like just being a little bit.
So I was like, right, guys, like, you need to calm it down.
Grace was
like-
so embarrassed she went and locked herself in the other room.
Yeah. I was like, you need to calm it down. I said, I'm all for a good time. You can have a great time, but you've got to remember, like, you don't break things. And
But this is the thing. This is why these kids are good kids, because immediately they switched it up. They started cleaning up, tidying up, put all the house back as it was. Bang, music went back on.
Yeah.
Party.
yeah.
Like that's
And no one
yeah.
actually cares.
So back to
Like,
this question, right? We would
okay, if Grace for a house
party,
I would be really cross because
and we hadn't given permission,
yeah.
I would
Because
be fuming.
I feel like she's yet to get to that level of like understanding like the house or she probably wouldn't be able to feel she can say to other people, whereas Casey with her friends would.
Casey's also learnt the hard way.
Yeah.
Casey had a little party and there was drinks all over the floor.
They were literally pointing each other's mouth to the point where they were then spitting it onto the floor. So again, I go
Sarah
in.
walked in and was like, what?
And at this point, Casey was pretty wasted. And she's like, oh, don't worry, I'll clean up in the morning. I went, no, you will not. Her friend started went, oh, I said, you know you what, you'll get up and clean it now. And her friend started went, okay, Mrs. Conda.
They were like saluting
They
you.
never call me Mrs. Conda, it's always Sarah.
Okay, Mrs. Conda, we'll get right to it. And then they were like absolutely wasted or like mopping up the floor. But yeah, so obviously she's learned from that she has to be more respectful. So back to the question, if Grace had a house party and it wasn't authorized by us and we were away, I would be fuming because you could have like anything could have happened. The house could have got absolutely trashed. Like people could turn up. So yeah, that's a big no-no.
Yeah. So what would I do? What would your punishment be?
3 days grounded. It's increasing each time, guys.
No, because I feel like she would then miss out on like, you know, because we do let her have house parties for her birthday or we do summer parties. I think I would have to say like, you've now...
Let's not single out Grace in this, by the way.
No,
Grace
no.
done nothing wrong, but
No, it's not, no. But
yeah, we would. You have to miss out on things that you would really have wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like that. That's how you feel the punishment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What would you do if one of your kids wanted to get cosmetic surgery? Oh, that's a really tricky one. That's actually quite hard because there's a lot to unpack with this. Like a few years ago, I would have just been like, no, absolutely not. Like I would just tell them like, you know, you don't need that, da 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 da. But some people struggle with some things and you can only get so far in your mind with like accepting how you look.
Yeah.
And I know people who have had cosmetic surgery and it was the best thing for them because they had things that they just were just every day not happy about. They had the cosmetic surgery and they're just happy about it now. Whether that was like nose or I know someone that's had their ears pinned back and I look at it and I think, well, actually, like it's all well and good just saying like, oh, learn to accept yourself and love yourself. You should.
It's very hard.
But you can only get so far sometimes. And if it's like a fairly easy fix for something, but what I would hate is for them just to be saying like they completely don't like how they look and they want to change every single aspect and they want to go through surgeries after surgeries like that, would be really heartbreaking.
But I feel like that is the slippery slope of cosmetic surgery. If you don't really quite like something, your vision is on that and your focus. But then when you then fix it, you then either, if you do love that, what you've just had done, but then you fixate on something else. So it is quite like a dangerous way to be.
It is also like if the because like wanting like lots of cosmetic surgery comes from like mental health problems. It probably stems from something else.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like deal with the issue. But like Casey got lip filler, and I used to be so against it, and I'm kind of like, well, it's like
it dissolves.
It dissolves. Like,
we're obviously,
what's the big?
And we are quite like good with her, and that we say to her, we don't have it looking, too crazy. And I've got two things I was going to say about it. One,
and you had lip filler.
Yeah, I've had lip filler and I've had breast implants twice, and I think from me having it recently, it has actually put off Casey and Grace wanting cosmetic surgery. So basically,
because they look so bad.
Yeah,
because they're so lopsided.
Yeah.
Now shaking. They look lovely, by the way, guys.
Thanks. So basically, the first one I had done.
Put up a picture on screen.
Befores and afters. But basically, when I'd had it when I was younger.
Jake.
Are you ready?
Go.
Basically, when I had the first one, I was like 21 and I'd had 2 children. And I got it done because I was miserable with my boobs back then. But then now it was one thing I regretted. I wished I just was happy with how they were, because I then didn't want to ever have to do them again. I remember obviously we did a video on this, and I actually was so nervous to have the cosmetic surgery done again that I got myself so worked up. Like I wish I just had never done it. I wish I could have found that love for my boobs beforehand. And then when I had it done the second time, the healing was perfect. Like I was back to normal really quickly.
The first time you had your boobs done, we were about to say it was a bit of a botched job.
Oh, it was, yeah. The
we said it in the video, didn't we?
Yeah.
The surgeon who done
was
it
in a newspaper for botched jobs after, like on a magazine.
It was
I'm like, oh my gosh. Like it literally looked like.
He should have been arrested for this kind of stuff that he was doing.
So basically, there was then told by the second surgeon that I had, who did a very good job. He doesn't even know why, but the first guy took off my nipples. He looked like he'd done it with crinkly kid scissors. Like,
yeah, the crimp.
It was so bad. It honestly was so bad.
By the way, guys, he took them off. He did put them back. She wasn't just like nippleless, but he completely cut them off and then sewed them back on.
And they didn't understand why. There was no reasoning for it. It was just so bizarre. But when I had the second one, I just think personally, I don't do well under local anaesthetic, or if it's surgery itself, or because I wasn't allowed to do anything for a few weeks. But
you get quite
I got
down.
so depressed. I actually really, really struggled. And Casey and Grace both have said to me, like, seeing me like that, it has really put them off. It's not even the surgery side of it. It's that it was that down feeling I had. And I was desperate to get back to normal. I hated it. So like that puts me off doing any kind of surgery again. But another thing is that with surgery is that I say to the girls, like, say like, for example, the girls would say to me, they want a nose job. I saw it on TikTok. This is why, or Instagram, but you then have your nose done, right? Say for example, I didn't like my nose, I had a nose job. Well, Grace has the same sort of nose as me. So what am I saying to my daughter? That her nose isn't good enough and that she should then have a nose job. So with these imperfections that you feel, would you say that if you had a daughter, or to your younger self, like, would you be as harsh? Because actually I think that's put things into perspective of like, I wouldn't say to Grace, go get a nose job. Like, not that I want a nose job, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But the thing is, like, I don't know.
Very hard if you've got a certain.
It's hard. I think if it's like one thing and it's fairly easy to fix, then maybe I would like not just take the view of like, no, like, you're just like, don't do it. But if it feels like it's going to be like a slippery slope of like one thing after another, it's kind of like you really do have to go on that journey of like learning to love yourself.
I think like if they.
I mean, I actually went in for a consultation to have a nose job, but that's because I actually have like my septum is like crooked. So yeah.
So it's a breathing thing.
It's a breathing thing, but it's also a cosmetic thing. Like I really don't like it because of the way it looks. So it's like but it's not like a thing that I think about all the time. It's what I had it done ages ago, but it's kind of like it's on my to-do list.
But what we learned that Sophie has the same nose as you, because when she had her tube fitted, I couldn't put it in a certain nostril because it was too narrow and it'd have to go a certain one. It's just, she's just got your nose. It just hasn't performed as much as yours.
Bless her. Poor kid. All right.
Love your notes.
So, if the kids wanted to move abroad,
Absolutely not.
as long as I
Move on,
can go
next
with them.
question.
As long as I can go with them.
We're all going. We're all staying together.
No, that would be so difficult. Even if, because Casey's best friend Ava has a boyfriend who lives in Manchester.
Yeah, this is a good. Yeah, go on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, shall we? Shall we talk
Because I
about
was
what
thinking
I'm
like
already
moving
talking
abroad.
about?
Yeah, go on.
What was you going to say?
No, probably
No,
what
go
you
on.
said. No, I was agreeing that it's a good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Casey goes to Manchester with Ava, and obviously she goes out with Ava and Ava's boyfriend and his group of friends and stuff. And we just keep being like, oh, we really hope she doesn't meet a boy in Manchester and then she wants to move to Manchester. Even though it's just Manchester, we would hate that.
Oh, honestly,
She would hate that as well, because I know she just loves
family.
She loves us.
Extended family. Yeah. No, I was going to say exactly that.
I would find that hard, let alone if one of my kids turned around and said, oh, I'm just going to move to like Australia or something.
Well,
I would be so heartbroken.
We actually moved, you, me, Casey and Grace, when we had Casey and Grace, we actually moved to Spain for 6 months. It was meant to be longer, but I couldn't handle it anymore being away from my family.
Even though they came over like every other week.
But
I think we saw them more then.
I think of my mum, like she came over so much, and I'd fly her back to the airport, and she would cry so much. Like I cried and she cried, but I would be like, I don't.
Yeah.
That would be so tough. Like,
because the thing is, I always used to put a lot of pressure on you of like, I don't want to live in the UK. I want to live, like, I'd love to go back and live in Florida again. I lived there as a kid. I hate the climate in the UK.
Yeah.
It just gets me down. So I was like, always like, no, I just can't bear the thought of living in the UK for the rest of my life. So I'd be like, well, let's move. But now I'm kind of like, I see it so different, because I'm like, I see how much that connection with your family means to you and also to our girls. That is kind of like, I would hate to be responsible to like ripping that apart. And also like now that Casey and Grace are older, like they wouldn't move. So the kind of like my dream of like us all moving abroad to like America saying it is
because if anyone has that dream, do it while they're younger, because otherwise it is really hard as they get older.
You have to do it while they're younger, and you have to have not amazing in-laws. Or you got to take your in-laws with you. So
yeah, true.
But you know, maybe we could all move away together, all of us.
Gosh, and have one big farm.
Fam? I was like, yo, all right. One big fam.
I actually have seen this again on TikTok. There is a family, and they bought, like, I think it's in like Texas somewhere or something, but they've bought a huge farm and they've built like 4 houses, but there's so much space between them. But it's like,
I think it's called a commune.
Compound.
Like a cult.
Compound.
Is it a compound?
It's a compound.
Sounds a bit culty.
No, it's just no.
Are they Amish?
No.
They're just normal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's really nice houses, like with a lake. Like it's just
that
their
would be
neighbours
amazing.
are their mum and dad. There's their sister, brother and sister. You know, like as in
your mum and dad. Well, your dad always jokes about moving in with us, doesn't he? Maybe one day. Pete. If you're watching.
No. I say sorry, because when you get elderly, I can't be the one responsible for wiping your ass all the time.
We'll take it in turns.
No, not us. Like my sister needs to. My sister needs to help out. So if you know.
Yeah.
No,
I'd move in with your parents. I think we said that before anyway. But I was just thinking, every time we do a story, right, there's always a question of something we have not answered. Like when we did the kidnap, it's like, well, what happened to my car? When we did the other story about we thought someone burgled our house and they hadn't.
Well, I know
what is going to be the question that everyone has about the burglary for Ibiza?
What happened to the Hansa G swimming costume? All right, and I'm going to tell you, we found it.
It was in
So in the middle of the field, there was like a little dirt track with bushes. No joke, the Hansa G was there. It was muddy, but we got it back. My friend was very happy.
The mad thing is, had she not put it in the safe, it never would have got stolen.
No, exactly. I love her. She's so
I can't believe she put that in there.
Oh.
Right, we've got a dilemma. Okay, so this is about ADHD. So it is from someone, and she says that she is homeschooled due to severe anxiety and panic attacks. The school and my previous therapist thought I had ADHD, which my parents also believe. My parents said there's no point in getting it diagnosed, since all it will do is make it even harder for me to make friends than it already is. So I'm not entirely sure what to do. Any tips?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's
my because I've known a few people that parents that have been worried about getting their child diagnosed with something. And my advice always is that being diagnosed doesn't change that child. It changes everyone else around them, how they treat that person and the treatment that they receive. So people can be more understanding, they can be more patient. Like, you know,
Like if you are experienced, if there's a child around you that has autism and you don't know they have autism and they're behaving a certain way, if someone tells you, oh, that child is autistic, you
yeah,
instantly have more
yeah,
empathy. You understand some of the behaviors that they're
yeah,
doing, and like it actually makes it so much easier for people around you to interact. So I'd say getting a diagnosis, like it also like, because when Grace wanted her diagnosis,
yeah,
she was just like, even though nothing would like necessarily instantly change, she just needed to know, like, do I have it or do I not?
yeah.
And I get that, because when I first got someone who said to me, you may have ADHD, and it was like a massive like wake up call, like, what? I just could
Yeah,
not believe
yeah.
it. So I then looked into it. I was like, oh my God, this literally is me to a T. It was then like a good 3-4 years before I actually got diagnosed. And that whole time, it was just this big question mark. And I was like, I need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know if I have it, because also it helps you know how to go about with yourself. Like I was trying to do things that someone with ADHD would be able to easily do when it came to like organization, like routines. And I was always falling flat on my face and feeling like a failure,
The
because
people
I
without
was,
ADHD could easily do.
yeah, what did I say?
People with ADHD could
Yeah.
easily do. Yeah.
So like, say if I tried to be like Sarah, who's super organized, right? I could keep it up for like a couple of days, a week or whatever. But then I would always fail, and it always made me feel so bad about myself. But when I found out I had ADHD, I was like, okay,
What works for
I need
you?
to find workarounds. I need
Yeah.
to realize what works for me. And then I didn't feel bad about myself. I was
And
just
also,
like,
I don't understand the part of saying you then can't meet friends, you make friends, because again, if you if you make friends with somebody and they say I've got ADHD, if there is a reason why, like a character flaw that you would have thought of, but if it's an ADHD, you can kind of accept it a little bit more. Oh, they don't text me back. It's not because they don't like me. It's because they got ADHD and probably forgotten. There's a little allowances again, like
my friends know like that they can call me. I might forget to call them back.
yeah.
But
And it's an ongoing joke, but they don't take it now personally.
But I don't
Whereas
know why it would make it hard. Like there shouldn't be any stigma around ADHD. Like
But yeah, there shouldn't be. But I'm wondering if, like how you were saying, like you'd forget to call, text. They're thinking it'd be worse if people thinking, oh, they've got ADHD. But I really don't think.
I think it's so common. I think people are being. I think there's this thing on social media. It's almost like, oh, everyone thinks they've got ADHD now, and there's like everyone's getting diagnosed. But I think because
that is true though, because sometimes I'm like, maybe I have ADHD because I follow these TikToks. And I'm like, I do that.
I think some of the TikToks that I see, like, oh, if you do these things, you've got ADHD. Some of the things just like they're very common, like everyone does them. But I remember as well when I first was telling people like, oh, I've got ADHD, they were like, oh, really? Like what? And they'll be like, oh, like about my memory, and they'll be like, yeah, but I forget things. And it's like, but to the extreme of you know, of the things that I would forget, which would be really bad. Yeah. It's like, it's not extreme. So yeah, I think getting a diagnosis is definitely a healthy thing to do. I think trying to brush it over and sweep it under the carpet is not healthy.
And especially the fact that the school and the CBT, I think she said she had, have said it as well. Like it's obviously then is most likely to be that. Again, it doesn't change anything to do with her. And anyone that isn't understanding of her, if she does have ADHD, like friendship wise, then
maybe just not the friend for you.
They're not the friend for you.
There you go. Yeah.
And on that note,
do you want an outro? Because you're so
Carmen Tuesday. We started to pick it up quite loud. Really sorry,
I'm really
guys.
Sorry. Why are you laughing? You need to wrap it up.
Sorry, guys.
It's not ASMR.
No, am I joking? I don't know what to do.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Oh, guys, actually, I do know what to say.
Oh, hello.
Can you please... Sorry, guys. Happy Tuesday. Can you please send us in any more dilemmas that you have? We would love to answer some more. That would be perfect.
Yeah. So if you go over to our Instagram, which is DadVGirls Pod,
Yeah.
I believe, on Instagram, send us a DM, give us your dilemmas. They don't all have to be serious. They can be funny. They can be settling debates about arguments you've had in your family. We've had things about family Christmases and
gifts.
Just
yeah,
anything you've got going on. And also you can tell that family member to watch and we will settle debates for you. Yeah, because we're good at that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't guarantee they'll be
good.
Yeah,
we will.
But thank you guys, and guys, see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.